omu ku basponsors baffe. This is none other than Outspanned Nursery. Nga bulijjo amanya nze Kyozira William Wilberforce na Diope ku media osobola okunsangako nga Chosen K. Williams. Olunaku olwaleero ndoze era mulabaka background tusazeewo tujje tukyayiriko omu ku basponsors baffe. This is none other than Outspanned Nursery and Primary School. Leero gye tuli mukimanyi bulungi nti essaawa zino eno abaana beetegekera kubeera nga baddayo ku ssomero. Kati g'omuzadde atulaba obaddeawo nga weebuuza essomero kiri osobola obeera ng'otwalako omwana wo, essomero eriyina eddiini, essomero eriyina environment. Bannange ndi wano eno okwira akawewo manye okubeerawo nga you breathing life tekirona. Kati olaba nze azze eno olunaku olumu mpulira bwe nti nga ninganga obulamu obukomyewo. Kati weewuunya omwana asiiba wano taamu namba ng'ali mu environment eri very conducive wet. The thing is very quiet. Omwana asoma ng'ebintu bikola ki biyingira buyingizi mu mutwe. Tetukomye kwawo ebisulo byombi bitunuddeko ze mwennyini mbirabye nga birungi, essomero ddungi, abasomesa awo wayiyamuko ninga olaba bambi omuntu kyayogera akyogera asinziira ku ekyo kyamanyi nga profession amanyi okusomesa. So olunaku olwaleero tuli ku Outspanned tuli eno tubagamba omuzadde oli eyo omwana tobonaabona kunoonya kifo kyogenda mutwalamu. Muleete wano ku Outspanned Nursery and Primary School eri eno Gayaza Namulonge Road oba wakayita kwawo ku highway katono branch akatono boti kasotuke Namulonge gwe buuza Outspanned kuba buli omu bagimanyi era abantu be Namulonge bonna beewayo okubeera nga abaana baleeta wano. Kati naawe oli eyo oli mu town omwana oyagamuleeta mu kifo nga kirungi ng'agenda kuvayo ng'ategedde kye basomesa eddiini kalibe basiraamu kalibe bakatuliki kalibe baani bonna wana eddiini lyonna yonna liri welcome. Era abaana basaba, abasaala ne basaala, abasiiba ne basiiba, abalokole ne basa byonna. Naye ng'ekisinga obukulu nti omwana agenda ovaawo ng'abanguddwa ekyo kyennyini kyaba yeetaaga okubeera ng'akola ki ng'ategeera. Sigenda suukawo ojja kukugamba nti leeta omwana wo ku Outspanned Nursery and Primary School babeere nga bamubangula afuuke omuntu ow'ekimmemmette, afuuke omuntu ow'obuvunaanyizibwa. Musibe bulungi mweraba.
YPA. Brought by Outspanned Day and Boarding Primary School, Gayaza Namulonge.
And welcome, Councilor Gloria here with you on the Legal Matters. You're so welcome, my dear viewers out there. And today we're going to delve into legal topics that affect everyday lives. As an employee, as an employer, you're all affected by the law. And which law is this? The employment law. Yes, if you didn't know, as a worker out there, that you're actually affected, you have rights as an employee, you have rights as an employer, and all these are governed by the Employment Act. Today we're going to learn more about this. Thank you for joining me here on this show. Yes, so what am I talking about when I talk about the employment law? The employment law is governed by the Employment Act. And this act, that's where we see how the employer is supposed to treat his employees.
Nga bulijjo amanya nze Kyozira William Wilberforce na Diope.
Dear viewers, how are you? How have you been? You're so welcome to a new episode of the Legal Matters. Here with me, Nisima Gloria.
Nga bulijjo amanya nze Kyozira William Wilberforce.
Hello, our dear viewers. How are you? How have you been? You're so welcome to a new episode of the Legal Matters. Here with me, Nisima Gloria. Today, what we're going to look at is agriculture law. Yes, this is for the farmers out there. But before we dive into the agriculture law, I would like to thank you so much for the much support you showed us in our first episode, for the love. People were making so many inquiries, so we would like to thank you so much. So many questions came through. We were so glad, especially a question on the 5% deduction as I discussed. Yes, someone was inquiring if this 5% deduction that I have to contribute for NSSF. Yes, that's a statutory mandatory deduction as per the NSSF Act. Like I mentioned, under the NSSF Act, you're supposed to make a 5% deduction. For the employer is supposed to make that 5% deduction from your salary, and it's for your own good, because this is going to be your savings at the end of the employment. Yes, so that's why we have to make that 5%. The employer has to deduct that 5% deduction from your salary to enable you save. It's more like saving indirectly. Yes, and it's for your own good, and it's a statutory. It's mandatory for the employer to do that. Yes, as you well know, also the employer has to contribute, but also that 5% is for your own good. Just in case you want to know more about it, you can still inquire from us on our different platforms. So thank you so much. Today we're going to talk about agriculture law, and what does this agriculture law cover? Yes, agriculture law ensures sustainable development of farming practices. It protects the farmers and consumers' rights and balances the economic and environmental and social aspects of agriculture. As you well know, we are an agribusiness company. YPA is an agribusiness company. We deal with a lot of people who deal in farming, because here we have so many projects. We have the goat project, we have the maize project, we have the bees project, and all these are governed under the agriculture law. Yes, so before even we delve into that, you have to know that this law regulates the food production, processing and distribution. It regulates how the farm operates. First of all, what it covers, the farm operations. Remember, you have farm workers. Yes, all these people have rights. When you look at that, they're also governed under the labor laws, because they're, at the end of the day, they're your employees as workers. Also, the key areas of this agriculture law, we are going to look at land use and ownership. Yes, as a farmer out there, you will know you need land, a vast area where you're going to practice this farming. So you need to know your property rights and land ownership. However, that will all be covered in our segment to do with land. So don't get worried, we have you covered. People want to know anything about land. However, today we're going to broadly bring out agriculture law, the key aspects. So one of those key aspects is the land ownership. And for this segment, for land, since it's broad, we're not going to over dive into it. It's going to be on its own episode, So today we have to know like how the farm operations have to go and management. Yes, remember, you have employees on these farms. They have rights. So before even you use someone as your employee, as a farmer on your farm, as people who do the whole farming, who carry out the whole agricultural production, you have to know that these people have to enter the employment contracts. Like we looked at this the last time. I hope you're now well versed with how employment law works. So please don't skip that. In case you're an agribusiness farmer out there, or you're into farming, yes, if you have workers on your farm, ensure that these people enter those contracts. They enter those contracts because they, as your employees, have rights, and they have to know that they're working standards at these farms. Yes, you have to ensure their safety. Remember, these are people who are going to be they are going to be operating in these farms where there is biochemicals. There are biochemicals, so these people have to be protected. Give them gears, safety gears to wear. Those are gloves. Give them gumboots. Remember, they're in bushes, all these places. You need to ensure their safety. Yes, and the working condition is favorable for them to carry out this farming. Yes, you also know that as a farmer, you're going to produce products. Yes, and these products will be on market. Remember, there are so many people who produce different kinds of things. Remember, we have the poultry farmers, we have people who are dealing in the livestock. These are the people who produce milk, all those kinds of farmers out there. Yes, for us, we deal in goats. For starters, those of you who don't know, please come at YPA. You'll get to know about our goat project and how you can earn from it and get a good quality breed of a goat. Yes. So as you well know, you people, the farmers out there, especially or people who are interested in the farming business, you have to know that you're going to be producing, and these products are going to come in large quantities. Yes, you're going to produce, let's say you're going to supply eggs. Remember, those for the poultry farmers, people who have agricultural products. Let's say the tomatoes, people who have these the ones from like people who are producing milk at a large scale, people out there. We also have people who deal in let's say they deal in pasture production. Like there's so many products you can get from agriculture. So what you do, you have to enter contracts with these people you're supplying to. Remember, you're not going to just supply without knowing that you're going to either benefit from this supply that you're giving this person. So to ensure that you're going to benefit from from the person you're supplying to, let's say you're supplying eggs to a bakery for those who are dealing in poultry, or you're supplying, let's say, meat suppliers like we supply. We have different variety of companies, partners that we have that we supply to our goat's meat. Yes, we send our regards to you all. So all these people, you have to ensure that you enter this sort of contract. We enter this sort of contract that's going to see how you're going to supply, the quantity you're going to supply, the amount you're going to supply to these people, and when it's a delivery supposed to be made, and ensure that all this is followed to dot. Yes, because these contracts are going to help you to ensure that this person you're supplying to is going to keep their word. You know, people out there, you just start supplying someone, you don't know that these people are going to pay you. When will they pay you? How will they pay you? You know, so that's when the contract law comes in, so to ensure that all those things are cleared away. So ensure that you enter contracts with these people that you're going to supply to, especially if you're dealing with farming on a very large scale. Yes, my dear farmers out there, beware that for you to ensure that you're going to gain from your business, you have to ensure that you enter these contracts or memorandums of understanding to ensure that you're going to benefit. Because at the end of the day, this person may query, they'll be like, no, I didn't say we're going to supply this amount, I'm going to give you this much money. So ensure that you enter those contracts to set all those terms and conditions on ground, and they have to be so clear and precise. So another thing that we have to look at in this agriculture law, we have to see that the environment, yes, people go and they say they want to carry out the farming, then they go and clear the whole forest. This is illegal. I want you to know, farmers out there, that you who carry out farming and you want to do the large scale and you just go and cut down a forest just because you want enough land, just know you're doing it illegally. Under the environment law, those forests are supposed to be protected. So ensure even before you go and start illegal poaching on such a forest or encroaching on swamp, all those water areas, the water resources, they have to be reserved. So put that in mind as a farmer, that at the end of the day, if I encroach on this forest, if I encroach on these water reserves, the swamps, please put it in mind that you have to first know which place is gazetted for farming. Yes, get that clearance from NEMA before you carry out all this farming. Otherwise, you're going to be caught in the wrong and you'll have to answer for it. So farmers out there, beware. We also have the agriculture finance, people out there who are carrying out farming on a large scale. You have to know how you're going to acquire these loans. Let's say you want to acquire a loan to carry out this business. You have to know which law governs you properly. You have to, first of all, look at the Microfinance Institutions and Money Lending Act for starters, because that act clearly specifies the interest rate you're supposed to get this loan that you're interested in. Yes, so in other words, before even you go out there to get this loan so that you can fund your project more, let's say you're dealing in which project on a large scale, please be governed by that. Which interest rate are you supposed to get this loan? you get. So be well informed about it for starters, so that you know, like, of course, as finances are, you have to, you know, get a lot of areas or sources of income. So in case you're interested in getting a loan so that you can put into your project, you go and learn more about the Microfinance Institutions and Money Lenders Act, because it will enlighten you on the interest rate you're supposed to get that loan, or if that's the source of income you want to use. And yeah, and learn how you're going to enter a loan agreement with these people on how you're going to pay your loan and when you're supposed to pay this loan. Yes, and the time frame you have to clear this loan, for all the farmers who are out there and you want to acquire a loan so that you can fund your project more. Furthermore, the other key area we can look at is for those people who are interested in trade and international agriculture. Yes, how are you going to export your products? How are you going to import in case you want to carry out importation? Yes, there are so many taxes that you're supposed to pay. Yes, you're not supposed to evade taxes. So in other words, let's say you want to export your milk products abroad, you have to know which laws are governing you, and that's under the Tax Act. Yes, the Tax Act will govern you on how you're going to export and import these particular products. Yes, so ensure that even the products you're going to export out there, are they on quality? Are they on market? You have to ensure that there are safety standards on ground. Yes, so to ensure that these products are of quality before even you export them out there. Otherwise, you're going to kill your market. Yes, you're going to produce these products, and then they're not much in the international market, and you will not be able to sustain your products. So ensure that you pay these taxes as they're supposed to be paid. You're supposed to ensure that you've gone through all the procedures of how these goods are going to be exported. You've paid your taxes. You've ensured that these products of yours are of quality before you actually take them abroad to be put on market. Yes, so ensure that you do that before you engage into the exportation and importation of these agricultural products. Then we also have the animal law, so where we see that people who are dealing in livestock, remember we have, like, YPA is an agribusiness company, we deal in livestock. Our clients come and they take our goats. Yes, we have goats, people. If you didn't know out there, please come and purchase our goats. So what do we have? We ensure that the livestock, they are healthy and they're welfare. Like, you're not going to just trade in this business without ensuring that actually the goats you're selling or the cows you're selling out there are not of quality. Yes, they have to be healthy. Yeah. You have to ensure that these particular animals you're going to sell to people, are they of good, they are of good quality. You're not going to just sell these goats and of which they are not healthy goats. They're not healthy goats. So ensure that even before you go ahead and trade and carry out this sort of trade of business, agribusiness, make sure that all the animals you're selling to people are of quality and they're healthy goats, because we have cases of people selling animals that are already infected, which will affect people's health. So ensure that the health of people is put into consideration. Yes, then we also have the animal cruelty laws as they applied farming practices. Now you see that before even you're taking these animals, let's say you're going to take them, you're going to take them to the butcher. Remember, you have to transport these animals. How are you transporting these animals? You have to ensure that you're not being cruel towards these animals. Remember, these are animals. You have to also be considerate. So look at that law of how you're supposed to transport these animals without affecting their well-being as the animals. Yes. So we have those cases where people just transport animals in whichever way. They are not being considerate. The animals are, in so much pain. yes, regardless of it just being a business, but beware to ensure that these animals are transported safely to wherever you want to take these animals. Yes. Then, yes, like I said, like, ensure that this livestock is healthy. Remember, you're supplying things that are going to be consumed by people. Remember, this meat, yes, you're going to sell it to people just for profits, but remember, these are people you're going to affect. And in case of anything, in case their health is affected, it's coming back to your business. You're going to lose out on your market as an agribusiness farmer. So ensure that the products you're selling, that the milk, remember, some people deal in milk production and you're selling milk that is of low standard. Remember, this is something that's going to be consumed by people out there. So just make sure that for the safety of the people, for their health, yes, also to make sure that your business is acknowledged, that you won't lose clients. Definitely, if your product is a threat to the people's health, it's definitely going to be cancelled. It's on the market. So we're going to learn more about agriculture just right after this short break. Thank you. Welcome back, our dear viewers, from our short break. Yes, and here we're still discussing about how the animals are supposed to be transported from your farm to their final destination. Let's say you're taking them to a butcher. How are you supposed to transport these animals? And here we are going to look at the Animals Prevention of Cruelty Act. Yes, this is an act which governs how these animals are supposed to be taken, how they're supposed to be taken to these particular butchers or wherever you're going to take these animals. Yes, you're supposed to ensure that these animals there's not unnecessary pain inflicted on these animals. You're not supposed to overload. Let's say you're taking them on a truck or a lorry. You're not supposed to overload these vehicles that you're going to use to transport these particular animals. Yes, because that is illegal and you're going to face repercussions for that. Yes, under this act, you're supposed to also ensure that you have a license even before you're taking these animals wherever you're supposed to take them. In case you're dealing in this business of livestock, you're someone who carries out commercial farming, like you have cattle that you rear on a large scale so that you can produce meat. Yes, because at the end of the day, you're going to take these animals to the butcher, these cattle to the butcher, for them to, to get meat out of them. Yes, for meat production. So you have to ensure that even before you transport these animals, do you have the license to do that? Are you authorized? Because at the end of the day, when they stop your vehicle with these animals and you have no explanation, you have to make sure that you acquire this license before you actually are able to carry out this sort of business, whereby you're rearing this cattle, you're rearing these goats for meat production. So ensure that you have that license before you transport these animals, even before you engage in this kind of business. Yes, and for those who are rearing cattle like on a large scale, you have to ensure that your animals are not going to infect. Yes, you have to ensure that you don't have diseased animals on the run, or diseased animals to be in a public space. So you see that your animals, at the end of the day, before even you take them on market, for them to be slaughtered for the meat, you have to ensure that these animals are healthy. That test has to be made to ensure these animals are healthy for human consumption. Yes, we had a previous outbreak where animals were infected. I think it must have been like a serious infection, and then these same animals were being placed on market. Yes, for them to be consumed by people. So ensure that even before you bring your animals for people to consume for the meat, please ensure that your animals are well tested. The veterinary doctors have checked them that now the meat is good for human consumption. Don't bring diseased animals for people to people to consume their meat, and yet you will know that your animals are sick. Yes, even when you're carrying out this farming, ensure that you isolate your animals from other people's animals to ensure that they're not infecting other people's animals. Yes. So people who are carrying out livestock farming on a large scale, commercial farmers, please put that in mind. You're also supposed to ensure that, let's say you're going to export this particular product of yours. Let's say it's meat, let's say it's milk. How are you packaging these products? Before even you put them out there, how are they packaged? As a farmer, you have to ensure that your products are of so much standard. Even before you put it on the international market, how are your products packaged? Yes, these are products which are delicate. Most times you see that you have these fruits. Let's say you have you're one who deals in fruits, the apples, the tomatoes. Before these goods are exported, you have to ensure that these products are well packaged for that particular exportation. Yes, so that you have to ensure even the milk that you're going to put on the international market, please ensure that that milk is well preserved. As you know, milk is something that is not its sort of preservation has to be of high standard even before you put it on that on the international market or whichever market you're going to supply this kind of product. So let's say you have to go through the Uganda National Bureau of Standards check even before you take your goods to the international market. So you have to ensure all those procedures are followed before you take these particular goods out there to be put on the market. Yes, you also have to ensure that before you export these goods, you have a license. Yes, a license is very important before you carry out any sort of exportation or importation. That's under the External Trade Act. Yes, if you go and look at that act, it will inform you on how you're supposed to export these particular products on the large scale on the market. How you're supposed to package these products. Are they of standard? Yes, at the end of the day, when you supply good quality products, you farmers out there, you're going to have more and more people, more market. Yes, definitely people want more of your products. They want to associate with you as a farmer. So if you're a farmer carrying out the farming on a large scale production of whichever products, it could be the crops, the cash crops, the coffee. Yes, as you well know, we are also governed by the Coffee Act. Look at the Coffee Act and see the kind of coffee you're supposed to export, because coffee as a cash crop, it's so on demand, let's say on the international market. So before you take out that coffee to put it on the international market, how is it packaged? Yes, how is it is it really a standard? Like, can it really hit the international market? Do you even have a license to carry out this coffee production, to import this coffee? Yes, so the next time we shall look further into the coffee bill in case we get time. We want to know people who are carrying out coffee production, people who are coffee farmers out there. You have to know which rights you have, because we have a new bill, a new Coffee Act, and we want you to know how you're supposed to operate. Yes, as a coffee grower, coffee farmer, you have to know your rights and how you're going to be importing and exporting such a very crucial product. Yes, as you all know, agriculture is one of the leading sectors. It's one of the leading sectors in Uganda, in Uganda's economy. It contributes about 23% in Uganda's economy. So you have to be aware, like the products you're selling to people, you have to be aware how are you operating with your farmers. You have to ensure that the employment law is followed. Yes, you're at par with the Employment Act. And how are you exporting and importing? You have to put in mind the External Trade Act. Yes, then the animals, let's say you're dealing in animal production animal farming, livestock farming, where you're rearing these animals for meat production. Meat or milk production, how are you operating? Do you have the license to do these productions? Do you have the license to carry out all this? And how are you transporting these animals? So ensure that you're well conversed with these the Animals Prevention of Cruelty Act, because in case you're caught taking these animals, you're not going to have any excuses, because as per the law, you're supposed to ensure that these animals are not tortured. Yes, just because they're going to be taken to be slaughtered in the butchers, still we ensure that these animals are not tortured, you're not cruel towards these animals. You're overloading them on those trucks before taking them for exportation. Yes, another thing, people who are carrying out agriculture farming, who are crop growers, you're growing crops on a large scale, you're not going to encroach on different resources. Yes, you're not supposed to encroach on the forest, you're not supposed to encroach, let's say these people who are carrying out sugar cane growers, people who want to produce sugar, so you ensure that you encroach on these swamps, you encroach on the different water resources. All that is illegal. So be cautious of all that. Instead, be well conversed with the laws that govern that. The NEMA Act is very clear. You're not supposed to encroach on those different resources while carrying out your farming, regardless of you carrying out the farming. Yes, so as farmers out there, beware of all these laws, like get more knowledge on the laws that govern you. So for starters, we shall look at people who trade in meat. Let's say people who are bringing animals that are put in the butchers or whichever place where people get meat for consumption. So these are people who are illegally carrying out meat trade. Like, let's say someone who is putting out the animals there for meat production, for meat consumption. So for starters, we had an outbreak of anthrax where people were consuming meat of which this cattle was already infected with anthrax. So how are we going to combat such people? Remember, these are people who are getting animals, dead animals, and they're putting them on market for people to consume. So please beware, farmers out there. Like, this animal is already dead, and the person is already, they take these animals to the different butchers for them to, to get profits, to get money. So beware, that's illegal. You're not supposed to sell or put on market animals that are already sick, animals that are infected. Yes, because of that, it's illegal to carry out such. It's an illegal practice. So farmers out there, beware. And people, before even you put these animals or take them to those butchers or different places of meat production to put this particular meat for consumption, ensure that this animal is healthy. Yes. So the other illegality that could be there is putting substandard products on market to be consumed by people. Remember, most of these things are consumed. Yes, the milk you put out there, the food you put out there, the maize, all these products are consumed by people at the end of the day. So ensure that these products are of quality. You put it yourself as a farmer, even before you're caught by the law, put it among you make it a standard for yourself to put quality products on market. Yes, as a farmer out there, ensure that you have a license to carry out these operations. Ensure that your employees are well catered for even before carrying out these productions. Ensure that you're not encroaching on the environment, because at the end of the day, we need the same environment. As you see the climate change, it's all because people are encroaching on these different forests and the water reserves, the water resources. So as a farmer out there, I encourage you to please follow the laws and procedures and regulations in place before you do the agriculture business. As an agripreneur, don't look at only the profits. At the end of the day, we need each other. As you're producing your goods for consumption, the products, ensure that you look out for the people who are going to consume these products at the end of the day. Yes, as an agribusiness farmer, don't look at only the profits. Ensure that people's lives are not at stake because of what you're producing. Yes, ensure your employees are well catered for. Please, farmers out there, if you want more knowledge on agribusiness, on whichever product you're you're producing out there, especially coffee growers. There is a new act for you, the Coffee Act is out, so please ensure that you're well conversed with all these laws before you're caught in the wrong. Oh, thank you, our dear viewers, today for joining us in this particular episode. Our farmers out there, the agripreneurs, the people dealing in agriculture, thank you so much for your time. Hope you've learned so much about agriculture law, the standards you're supposed to go through, the procedures. And please, in case of any inquiries, reach out on our different platforms. I would like to thank my producer, Julie Nanteza. Thank you for your time. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.
Ab'emikwano nzikiriza ati nno muli bulungi. Nze Ssempijja Charles Sekamu ekitongole kya Youth Platform Africa. Ffe ogusinga okutumanyibwako gwa bulunzi bwa mbuzi. Era bw'otunula mu background wano wendi tuli mu section ey'embuzi eza white and black. Tutuuse ku mutendera gwa nsi yonna nti kaakati bw'oba oyagala white black specifically tuyina famu tukutwala n'osobola okubeera ng'olaba ekyo. Bw'oba oyagala ate luli olulala era nazo tuyina bwe tuzitadde. Simanyi kitegeera bulungi nnyo naye ng'eno content erimu bbuwa kalahali ne mubende bulijjo tukibagamba. So kino kitegeeza ki nti kaakati gwe andaba abadde nga ofollowinga tandika okukola obulunzi with intention. Be intention engeri yonna gy'olundamu oba oyina embuzi 2 oba oyina embuzi 3 zirunde naye ng'ozirundira ku mutindo gwa agribusiness. Tulina okuva wali mu kulundako obulunzi kubanga ne neiba alunda n'otandika okulunda ng'olunda kigendererwa. Embuzi eno gy'olaba ey'omwaka enkazi ogenda kugifunira ku mitwalo 7 egya Uganda naye ng'ebbeeyi eno ekyuka okusinziira katale kubanga bwe tufunayo omubede najje nagamba nzemba wa 75 nzemba wa kina na tetugaana olwomanya aba yateekamu dde ensimbi aba atandikira mu magoba. Kakati kino kyenjagala okugamba bw'obanga tunafuuka memba kikulu nnyo ofuuke memba mitwalo 10 gyokka gijja kubanga gikumala okufuuka memba wa YPA. Bw'obanga oli eyo nga tolina ttaka tolina budde tolina bukugu ate gwe wakimezeza kwa njala wajja ku kibegabega n'oteeka ku mutwe ffe weetuli tujja kubeera nga tukolera enteekateeka nga bw'ogiraba wano tulabirire embuzi zo bulungi nnyo gwobeera eyo ng'olinze magoba era amagoba gagenda kubeera nga gajja ojja kulaba ng'ofunamu kinene nnyo. Embuzi zino z'olaba tuyinamu enkyala baziyita nkyala tuyinamu enkazi tuyinamu ezo zonna z'olabya ento waliwo kana akato obulaba ndowooza bulungi nnyo buli wano kaliwo akalala kaakano oba kasajja oba kaki naye nga bwennange it is always good okubeera ng'olinayo ekikulanga nawe bw'okula. Abaana bo bamami ne baddadi abali ewaka naye nga waka we muli weewaawo muli wafunda abaana bo mufujja okusiiba ku TV bakolere investment eno. Omwana osobola mubuteekerawo embuzi ze 5 weziti milioni 3 n'ekitundu oba milioni 7 n'omugulira embuzi ze 10 omanya school fees owo mumaze tagenda kuddamu kutawaana ebbanga lyonna ery'obulamu bwe. Kiki kyenjagala okugamba tuli mu kiseera kati eky'endwadde ezitali zimu na zimu. Njagala okwongera okukubiriza abalunzi baffe abalundira sayidi zeeyo bw'obanga obadde ng'otawaana n'obutale njagala okuzigira Youth Platform Africa era njagala kwebaza gwe ya subscribinga ku YouTube channel weebale nnyo weebali ddala kati sharinga ekimu ku bintu bye tulina okulwanyisa ly'ebbula ly'obutale eryo tulirwanyisa twegasse wamu kye tuyita